Hi, I'm Deb Helfrich, and that's my co-star, Zanzi. I'm the founder of #Wellbeing Philosophy. I'm an elder savant who intends to become the she Socrates of the 2020, the she Einstein of consciousness, and the she Sherlock of human health. I also got a bit of a performer in me, and all of those personas filter into my one-woman show, #Redhead as She-Hulk. That's the tip of my iceberg. But underneath is a substantive body of work as the wise feminine philosopher who can save our failing civilization by asking great questions about why we don't have an accurate definition of humanness, of consciousness, why we building all these machines when we haven't explored whether or not we need pills or machine-assisted technologies in order to get better. These things are being developed because someone anticipates making money. It's just like the fact that you go to your doctor, you're ultimately going to get a prescription. But probably your mental wellness is the underlying cause of your physical symptoms. We know this. We say stress is responsible for all these kinds of diseases. See, this is my work, is taking things we say that we don't integrate together and go, oh, well, that premise, and that premise means this is false, and this might be true. There is a vast terrain of personal responsibility. I call it the area of DIY well-being strategies, where you are responsible for your own health by learning to listen to your body. Your pain, your aches, your cricks, your cracks, your sensitivities, your inability to focus your attention, your flubbing of your monologue. They all say something about the state of your body-brain biofield triad. Now, the biofield is the National Institutes of Health term for the electrosmog of the human brain and heart. I've recently returned to my alma mater, Carnegie Mellon, where I am a degreed philosopher, BA in philosophy, 30 years ago. And with that, having to ask my dog to please not ruin the shot, but she has. But she hasn't ruined the shot. This is a perfect example. This is what I love about being in a state of artistic flow. An altered state of consciousness, a trance that I can describe reliably and validly as states of brainwaves. I know how to get in, and I can get in and out of this lovely state. But let me go back to that little episode where my dog started licking. Incessant licking was a symptom that preceded the death of my first dog. So I'm psychologically sensitive to her, licking her paws. And I wanted to say she ruined it. Like I just had so much fear. It brings so much fear into me that I had to use the most direct and blunt verbiage to describe why she had to stop. You see, none of us is in control of the stream of our monkey mind if we're not understanding that the chatter is our body or our nervous system or some environmental stressor. You see, there's a lot of complexity in the human body, in the human brain, in the human biofield. Now, I want to just describe right now my value to humanity is to discuss the slippery slope of the current state of medicine. We've hit a point where we are entirely certain that biochemistry fixes everything about a human. And we have pills. And pills and pills. Pills are not. It can hide some of the symptoms of chronic disease, but pills are never going to cure a chronic disease. A better definition of chronic disease. We're also in a place where we've got all this dysfunction, things not working, and so we're building tech-assisted machines, brain-body interfaces. Again, with this focus on somebody making a lot of money and on fixing very challenging states, like say being an amputee. These are very necessary, crucial. And plus, because that's where we put all our focus, on what is very lucrative, solving all of these complex, in our face problems. But we've got ever-escalating burdens of chronic disease, morbid obesity, neurodivergency, mental illnesses. These also can use the same principles that are allowing us to create these MEGs, magnetic encephalograms, that can tell us what's going on inside of us from outside of us. Non-invasive tech. That's what the biofield truly is all about. But what I've discovered as a philosopher, because I'm not into all the details of all that, is that it aligns very succinctly with ancestral wisdom traditions, like Indian Ayurveda yoga, the theories of the chakras, Chinese acupuncture, Tai Chi. These modalities, millennia of data, are not to be condescended to because they didn't have the tools that we have. We need to think in an integrative way. And my life's work is about reuniting the Cartesian split, the separation of mind and body in our scientific tradition, plus making our scientific tradition account for the human soul. We have the reason our civilization is failing is because we sent the soul off to religion and allowed pedophiles. Separation of church and state created a culture of pedophilia in the very domain of humanity that was supposed to be, well, I don't know what it was supposed to be quite frank with you. As far as my experience, and I didn't intend to go here, but I'm here, religion was about mind control. It's not to take faith from anyone. This is not to right now debunk any beliefs you may have. It's to simply say that organized religion, the practice, not the theory of religion, the practice of religion, was about hierarchies. It created plantation capitalism. As knowledge didn't get disseminated widely to everyone, it got locked up in the church, and then money got locked up in the monarchy, and nobody existed back in the day, a wise feminine philosopher, to say, y'all can play these games, y'all can be these things, but it has to be somebody sharing for the greatest global good. Because why crime exists, why evil exists, why people become so perverted that pedophilia goes on, it's trauma handed down. It's neglect handed down. It is faulty paradigms about being human. I am the broadest thinker I've ever encountered. And it's not me. Like many, writers and performers, it just feels like artistic flow. It just feels like, okay, I go and go and go. This skill and talent came to me as I learned how to rewire my brain from the life-altering, and in fact, very nearly fatal effects of a toxic mold exposure, I ended up losing way over 80% of my ability to walk, talk, and work. I was a zombie, and I was alone in the world. And using my capacity to think as a philosopher, and just extremely quickly using the internet and biohacking data and access to all these papers and cutting through all the noise, trying to find the things that I could line up as valid premises, I learned to rewire my brain away from the left brain molded over dysfunction and into right brain creativity. That helped me release 150 pounds in the 15 months after turning 50. And again, tip of the iceberg is becoming a performer, sharing these things widely. But underneath, I want to do substantive research on what my outlier demonstration of human potential can do to help our failing civilization, the ever-escalating burdens of chronic disease. I can guarantee you that here's my first priority: demolishing racism this decade. If we don't get skin correct, the largest human organ, I'm telling you what, we will not get brains correct or biofields or anything. We have to unite as one species. And we have to defeat the delusion of white superiority and make white supremacy a crime. There's no there in whiteness. There's no there in any of the categories that have been created over the last 500 years. 500 years of our history. And I can do the logic for you. It consists of Henry the Navigator, and you go to Dr. Ibram X. Kendi's book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, and on LitHub you can search for Kendi and Henry the Navigator. But Henry the Navigator of Portugal. Portugal's landlocked from Spain, and he was the one that created and normalized the slave trade. That happened in concert, and again, go read Ibram X. Kendi on LitHub. My contribution to his scholarship is to point out the invention of the printing press in 1440. They happened in very parallel things. So this way that Portugal was going to make money, because they had to use ships to move things around. So let's move people around. Heinous. And in doing that, they created capitalism and racism intertwined. Then, all of a sudden, we have the printing press. And these heinous thoughts got written down. And then people took their ships and they went to other lands and they said, look at our laws. We wrote them down. What did you write down? Show us your laws. Oh, you don't have none? Okay. Our laws win. We got guns too. All right. This has been an intro to my life and work, a Socratic monologue demonstrating that I am also the she Chappelle, a stand-up philosophy. Harmony, y'all.